Okay. I'm live. I still have about 4 more minutes trying to figure out where my camera is. Make sure I'm not moving too low, too high, too fast. About 4 more minutes before it's actually 5 o'clock. Um, Zoom to YouTube has about a 60-second delay, maybe a little bit longer, because I'm watching it on my tablet and I'm still waiting for it to catch up to me. Um, so it's going to take a minute here. That way I can watch what's happening on one screen. I've got my tablet here, so I can dual live here, do dueling tablets and stuff. Okay, at least I thought I put the comment there. There it is. May 202. All right, I cannot type this morning. Fantastic. Or this afternoon. There we go. Is it going to let me see comments? No. Maybe if I go back to my YouTube channel, I can now see my own video. My account, Scholars Guild. Yeah. Sign in. Verify it's you. You were signed out. Sign in again. Enter password. No, I don't want to sign in that one. Back. What is my password? Move. She's gonna look at you like, no, I was here first. She knows I'm behind here. Oh, there you go. And now we can both be up here. Yes, this is me. That's nice. That's nice. What? I'm trying to get back to YouTube. Checking info. Next. Switch accounts. Obviously, it won't let me do this. So sorry, anybody that's watching on YouTube. I can't see if you're giving me questions or not. But it is 5 o'clock, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. I don't know if anybody else is going to be joining us this evening. Matt's going to be sitting up here with me. I don't know, maybe if he can log in and watch on YouTube, see if anybody comments or not, because obviously it's not letting me see if anybody comments on YouTube.
Okay, so it's on
I don't know, maybe
Ranch channel.
Scholars Guild.
Scholars Guild is a channel.
Yep, Scholars Guild is a channel.
Okay.
So I'm going to start out with, well, maybe it's going to let me in. It's just being slow. Okay, whatever. Have a problem. So as some of you may have heard, I just got hit with the average everyday run-of-the-mill influenza. So that's why we're not meeting at the shindig this month. I'm sorry if anybody actually showed up there and is looking for us. Hopefully Sean is passing the message along that we're not actually meeting there this month. And we're just, he's supposed to have told everybody that, hey, they're just, oh, there it is.
I can't find the channel.
It's just taking its time. If you go to Facebook, I gave a direct link to it.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't need to now, right?
Yeah. Oh, come on. Mute it. Mute. Turn my volume all the way down. There we go.
Okay.
So this is normally we, outside of all this, we would normally meet up at the Shindig, which is 3641 Highway 16 South in Bandera, Texas. They are now hosting Guilds of Requiem, the marketplace, and everything that we do that's in the public eye. We are currently reorganizing and restructuring Guilds of Requiem into a legal nonprofit entity. I don't know what's going up with that. You may have to kind of sit there and tap it every once in a while. So that it actually falls in line with what it is that we have actually been doing with how we run our business. We had the opportunity last year to sit down with an attorney when I decided that sole proprietorship was no longer working for us and we wanted to incorporate. And when we talked with the attorney, he said, well, you're actually running it as a nonprofit that would best fit your needs and suit everything else. So that is kind of where we're at in our nonprofit incorporation status. With the COVID-19, everything kind of came to a screeching halt because we're kind of waiting on everything and everyone, including the government, to be able to file. We are working on towards getting all of our board members together. We are want to make sure that who we have on our board understands the purpose of the Guilds of Requiem and what we're trying to do, and that also they are experienced people, and that they have the best interest of Guilds of Requiem in mind when they join us. What we are going to talk about today is the different types of gardening. I asked, my previous meeting was with the Space Station Requiem, which is one of our projects. It's a science fiction fan club that is, even though it plays in the Star Trek sandbox, it welcomes all fandoms, onto the space station. And we kind of asked him, hey, Robin's been sick all week. What, give me a topic. And they said, hey, let's talk about gardening. So I said, okay, cool. Sounds fantastic. Sounds great. Let's talk about gardening. So James said, hey, he put up a picture. I'm like, hey, I remember seeing that a few years ago. So he refreshed my links for me on a gardening, and you're going to see them here. And I'll drop this PowerPoint onto our group, onto our website. So you'll also have that link and everything that we talked about. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about gardening, types of gardening, the difference between an open system and a closed system, raised beds, mixed media, hydroponics, and aquaponics. We're also going to start talking about the Fall Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar that is going to happen the first Saturday in October. which is October the 3rd. That's when we have our first Saturday markets at the Shindig. The following weekend, not the following weekend, the third weekend in Saturday, which third weekend in October is October 17th and 18th is when we've moved our Renaissance Fair. We're calling it the Ren Fair of Bandera County. That's when we've rescheduled it. We didn't want to disappoint this year. So we moved it from the first weekend of May to the third weekend of October. We're going to have a little bit of an extra interesting interstellar, interdimensional, transsexual, transvestite bonus as we try to figure out how to still follow through with our Rocky Horror Picture Showcase on Saturday night. So by the way, Avery, Chaos and your crew, that ought to be a little extra bonus feature that you and your Ren Fair cohorts can help us work in there. Avery Chaos and her friends, they usually work the Sherwood Forest Fair. She's trying to help recruit us some friends to help out there. But back to the first weekend in October, that's when we are going to have our Fall Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar. That's when we had it last year. So we are starting to take vendor requests. So that's kind of a dual purpose. We're starting to sign our vendors up now. But we also want to know from you, what type of vendors would you like to see there? We also want to know what type of demonstrations you would like to see. We know last year it was very popular to see how to process chickens without any mechanical assistance. I would really love to see if somebody would like to come and set up their mechanical processor to show people how, when you've got a lot of chickens to process at one time, that is a really fantastic, neat process to see. It's very assembly line. It's usually like 3, 4, 5, 6 people all at one time, and I see them process 100-200 chickens at one time, and it's really awesome to see it happen. Would be really cool if I could tap into somebody who does that. I'm also looking for any hands-on activity requests. What type of skill that has to do with homesteading or prepping would you like to see? I know for the spring we had a request for ham radio operator, different types of communications, when the networks go down, how do we still communicate to each other? That we can still certainly do that. But you can either send it to us at customer service at guildsofrequiem.com. You can go to our website, guildsofrequiem.com, and submit a request on there. You can also send it to the Homesteaders and Preppers Guilds at gmail.com. We actually have our own email address. We also have our own group on the website. That is something new that I actually, through a day of delirium, I actually got some work done on the website, and as promised, we now have our own groups up on the website. If our header board is going to be changing here a little bit, I'm going to be moving the About Guilds of Requiem is going to be moving off to more as I replace it with the Ren Fair of Bandera County, so it's easier to find. But under community activities is where you find all of our specific guilds that are for fun. Underneath there is a drop-down group that says groups, and that's where you find all of our groups. You do need to sign up to our website as a member, and then you can join any of our groups. One of them is the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild. We have a general chat for discussion. You'll see a guild for every public Facebook group that we have. So if there's a group for general discussion that you would like to see on there, please let us know. Underneath our Scholars Guild of Requiem, that is our forums are listed under there. We try to save that specifically for learning type topics. That is for, I think we've got some gardening groups in there, some gardening forums in there. We've got some other different types of forums in there. That one is a bit more controlled of the type of information we put in there, and it's more geared towards teaching and learning. We are restructuring of that as we had some people drift off from us, moved on to better and bigger things in life. So if you are a subject matter specialist, they call them SMS, I guess is whatever. If there's some knowledge that you would like to share with people and you're looking for a forum to be able to help share that knowledge, you're looking for somewhere to blog, hey, our website is open to you. Please let us know. We'd love to have you come aboard. So under our little topic today, I'm trying not to rush through it. If you feel that I'm going too fast, we do have on our chat feature and on our YouTube channel, you can tell me, hey, slow down, you're talking too fast, I don't understand you, or I've got a question, just let me know. And I'll try to slow down. If I start slurring or mixing up words, Matt will jump in. There's two types of systems when it comes to gardening, an open system and a closed system. An open system relies on pretty much relies on everything to come into it from somewhere else. It relies upon an external source for light, which is the sun. It relies on the sun for heat. It relies on nature for water, or for you to bring water to it when it's not raining, and for external sources for nutrients. So that is considered an open system. An open system also is open to Veronica. An open system is also open to nature. That means bugs can come into it, and can you let her know we're doing online talking about gardening towers? And that means bugs, nature can get into it, deer, whatever, thieves can all get into your open system. Typically, open systems of gardening are in the ground. This is your farmers, your traditional gardens. Where we're at, we do raised beds. Um,
Just,
yeah.
let it go.
Raised beds, hay bale gardening, wicking beds, anything that is can be used for gardening. Closed systems, those are going to be the ones that are in greenhouses. You see a lot of warehouses that are getting converted to hydroponics and aquaponics. If you are gardening inside of your home, where you are, even if you're using soil, but you're inside of your home, that can sometimes be considered a closed system because they are in a closed environment. They're not, you have a light source for them, you have a heat source for them, you have a water source for them. It's usually you can be a recycling water system, but that is your hydroponics and your aquaponics are typically a closed system because the water recycles through the system, and so that's why I listed them there. Your hydroponics typically rely upon a raft bed system or a misting system. Your aquaponics can have one of three systems. It's a raft bed and a media bed. The water circulates back through the system. The wicking beds ends up being a closed portion to the system. It goes into the wicking bed, and that's pretty much where it ends. This is what James reminded me of. It's the garden sphere. Was developed by IKEA. It has been free sourced by IKEA. They do not sell it in their stores, but they do have the plans out on the website of Earth Without Poverty. The basis behind this garden sphere is that you could grow food for an entire small neighborhood in the sphere. And as you can see, you walk inside the sphere to be able to harvest everything. And these are our individual grow trays for food in here. Now, the ideal, the possibility for customization in which you could easily put down here, you could easily put wraparounds for a hydroponic system, or you could put bins for fish and make it an aquaponic system and run tubing and have water drip system down, is absolutely endless. Obviously, you're going to need to put grow lights underneath there because it could be too dark in there for them. But this is just a basic system. It is really cool and is amazing. We do have the links in our PDF, and like I said, not the PDF, in our PowerPoint, but we will convert it to a PDF to drop into our group and share the group into the Facebook group. The links are there. It is free sourced out now by IKEA, but it is a really cool concept, and I could see it being just a really neat addition especially if you're short on space. And that is what's really cool about this grow room. They give you the basic plans, but you can provide the next level of possibilities of wherever you're going to take it. And you can see here that gives a little basics of what each of the pieces are and how many you need to grow to build it up.
Well, if you're handy, it looked like they were using structural PVC.
Yeah.
Too. And that's a cool thing to look at too, structural PVC.
Yeah, structural PVC is amazing.
That's the key word there.
Oh, I didn't even have my microphone over here. I have no clue if anybody's been hearing us.
Huh.
Hopefully, I have a high quality microphone. Hopefully, everybody's been hearing us. Hopefully, you can hear us better now. I've been told I've got a big mouth, except by my dentist. So, if you're limited on space, that's the biggest thing we hear when we're talking to people. We're blessed to be living out in the countryside, where we're on a large piece of property where we can pretty much, where people say, "Oh, you can grow anywhere." Well, no, not really. We have like what, 2 inches of soil, and then we're on rock.
Yeah, it varies.
It varies anywhere
from rock,
from
no soil to 12 inches, maybe 18 inches in some spots.
Yeah. But even then, our soil is actually kind of crappy for growing out here. We've got wild scrub that will grow. We've got native things that will grow. But if I want to grow something specific, I have to do a raised bed or I have to do a tower. And I actually had the center one here in green and up on my porch. If you look at some of my older photos on my timeline, I actually got some really great growth from it. It was fantastic. I liked it.
Well, the one thing that happened was remember the water, the ones on the bottom, the water runs down from the top to the bottom. Yep. So the bottom ones you want to either stagger it, like put in sand, mess with drainage in your pots, or put the high water ones on bottom.
What they did here on this one, go back.
I remember that was a bit of
Well, what they did here on this one is they actually set it in the tub, and they have a spraying system so it constant trickles through. And they set it up hydroponic style.
So it's like pebbles in there?
Yeah. So that's media pebbles like you would use for a hydroponic or an aquaponic system.
Okay.
For a grow media.
So yeah, that's a pretty cool concept. You grow in real high drainage pebbles and then constantly have water flowing over.
Yeah, you constantly have water flowing through it like it's a water system. This tower here actually has a center deal for you to put your composting in it. And then it flows through, you water through the top, and then you can have a removable drawer for recycling your composting out. I've looked at the garden tower project. This one is actually quite of an investment. I will get Veronica Stahl Dietz. She actually uses this garden tower here. I actually stole it from her page. I'll tag her in a post later on our main page to get her to give a little bit more information on this. She uses this vertical grow tower system, and she has it actually in her home. And she is just absolutely in love with it. It's very easy for her to use. She actually, I believe her son actually, Trip, is the one who actually does a lot of the maintenance on it. So it's super easy even for kids to use it. We're getting ready to put in some aquaponics. I would actually not recommend this big of a slope.
Yeah, they're not going to get any water.
Yeah, your water is going to be, you see down here, all this water here, all this plant growth is really big, and this is really small. You actually want less of a slope than that.
Did Murray talk about the slope?
Yes, yeah. When I took my aquaponics course with Murray Hollum, he said you actually want a very slow slope. Very narrow degree slope, because you want it to give time for everything to get through. But this can also be an aquaponics or a hydroponic type system. Anytime that you have a water basin, you can be a hydroponic or an aquaponic system. We're actually going to be trying to incorporate our duck pond into our system. We do know that we're going to have more of a filter system, swirl filter, because our ducks do a lot of poo. That's just all it's to it. Ducks poo a lot. But while we do have a lot of space on our property, my mobility is limited. And so we have to take that into account. You know, we have to be able to be accessible to our garden and have our garden accessible to us. So we also want to leave a lot of our land to nature. And we don't want to really disturb a lot of our land because we have a lot of native plants on here. And we do have somebody coming out on Thursday who wants to actually look at our property and see what native plants we have on here that have medicinal value and how much they can help us with enhancing what's already here. So I'm really kind of excited about that. And also with the transformations that we're getting ready to do up front for the Learning Pavilion and for Haven of the Dragon with a meditative garden and medicinal value for up front. So we're really excited about that project coming up. But I am looking more towards vertical gardening and for media beds as a part of our growing process. So what are the pros of hydroponics and aquaponics? Both of them have a lot of the same basic benefits. The hydroponics, I was kind of hoping Steve Gordon would ping in here real quick because he got a hydroponic system for Christmas and he has been like Mr. Farmer John in his dining room. He's got like 2 or 3 of them, and he got 2 of them for Christmas and he went out and bought 2 more of them, and he is just absolutely, oh, he hears it, okay. Yeah, he says it uses whatever space is available. You know, he's got I think you got them on your bookshelf, don't you, Steve? That they're just super easy to set up. They come self-contained. They've got their own little water basin to them, and they're little pods that set down in, and it's got its own light and it's adjustable. So when the plants are real young, the light can be down low, and as the plants grow up, he can adjust the light so it's higher. So it's real easy for him to maintain. The hydroponic system can be as small or as large as you want it to be. There's no weeding in both systems. Because they are essentially a closed system, there's no weeds being introduced to them. Both of them have a reduction in growth time because you're not depending on nature to provide what you need into the system. You're providing the nutrients that they need. You're providing the light that they need. You're providing the water that they need. So yeah, he has the Arrow Garden system. If you look on Amazon, I had originally started out with an Arrow Garden system too. I was really impressed with it. It did have a few of its own faults. With mine, the pump went out in the first 30 days, which really stunk. I mean, after 30 days, it was super, super loud. And then it stopped working altogether, but I blamed our water on it. We have well water that's high mineralized, so I recommend that you watch the type of water that you're using in your system. With the aquaponic systems, a large majority of them, unless you are in a commercial aquaponic system, it is a purely closed system. You are providing everything for that system. You're providing your water, you're providing your fish, you're providing all the nutrients in there. Speaking of the fish, there's your protein for your diet. The fish are providing your fertilization. Statistically, there's less water waste in an aquaponic system because your raft beds are covered, your media beds are covered, your fish beds are covered. Yeah, well, we'll get to the cons here in a minute. See, that's my next slide. You also have a byproduct when you go through your filtering system. You do have to filter your water because the fish do poo. You do create compost, but ultimately your aquaponic system does create its own diverse biosystem. In the last aquaponic system that I had, and Josu was telling me that he was really shocked to find that eventually he had night crawlers, he had earthworms in his media beds. So he was like really surprised to find that out, when some of the chickens got loose in his factory. From the 3rd floor, he found them down on the 1st floor, and they were scratching up the media bed, and they were eating worms out of the media beds, so that really shocked him to find out that earthworms had suddenly shown up in his media beds. so that they create their own diverse biosystems. The cons of hydroponics and aquaponics. You do need chemicals to maintain a nutrient balance in a hydroponic system. Hydroponics and aquaponics, because there is water and electricity involved in the systems, they can pose a threat. Anytime you've got water and electricity, they don't mix. That's just all it's to it. There's always the chance that you're going to short something out, and when you short something out, that can cause a fire.
Well, they can leak.
They can leak. Yeah, I've got that in there, potential for a leak, and then you've got the water repairs. The initial investment, both systems. Christopher Sanchez, I think Joe Sue tried asking him how much did you sink into your initial investment into his aquaponic system, and he never got back to us. The Aero Garden, I think, is what, $60-$70. Hi, Veronica. Hey, by all means, I was telling her, she sells the you're a representative for the towers, right, Veronica? Initial investments for all the systems, they can be costly sometimes. When I was initially looking for at tower systems, that was a little bit steep for me at the time, because both systems involve water. Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Hi, TJ. That was a little bit steep for me. It's a little bit hard for me to handle that. We're having to just kind of slowly.
Whoops, that's me. Sorry.
That's okay. We're having to slowly build our way up into being able to make the entire system. So right now we're working on building our ponds for our fish. We're starting to gather our supplies to be able to have our vertical towers. We're starting to build our supplies to make our raft beds. Actually, I think
we're going to start with the wicking beds.
Yeah, we're going to have our wicking beds, which is kind of the
wicking bed is a very cool concept.
Yeah, because the wicking bed, you have your pipes at the bottom, and the water goes at the bottom, and then the plants wick up what they need. And then we're going to do the media beds, and I think we determined we really didn't want raft beds because overall the maintenance to them was just too much, and we were going to have extra air compressors to blow air into the system to keep the water aerated above and beyond what the fish were going to need.
Yeah.
That was just the noise. The pumps were just going to be too noisy to be able to maintain. Garden towers are $600 a month for an outdoor, but can have monthly payments of $53 per month. So that's something to think about. When can somebody expect to see a return on that, Veronica? I'm keeping an eye on the live chat. In the.
Does that come with a pump?
That I would assume that comes with a pump.
Yeah.
For everything.
Just that you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the pumps can be noisy. I mean, we're kind of lucky that we're out here in the country, but in the city, I can see where that might be an issue.
Pumps and motors, that gets real. That's like, it gets like cars, I
yeah.
mean, there's all kinds of, low energy draw, quiet, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, Robin, what's her name? Veronica?
Yep.
Okay. With my Aero Gardens, the pumps are really quiet. I've had no trouble. The biggest thing is keeping the filters clean. Mm-hmm. And using you mentioned earlier your pump went out because of the water. I put only filtered water that comes in through the refrigerator, but using filtered water to get it won't filter out all of the calcium that's in our water, but if you get a majority, most minerals, hard stuff out, they'll last. Yeah, I've had the two small ones, the Aero Garden Harvest, since Christmas, and I've had my big one, the farm, since about January, February, and I've had no troubles with the pumps at all with water. But again, that con is the initial investment. Now, like I said, my dad sent TJ and I a gift card each of $100. That's why I got the harvest. And I like the harvest so much that I made the personal investment on the farm. Yeah, go ahead and use the phrase, I bought the farm. Yeah, I bought the farm. It retails normally about $500. I had some welcome coupons that I used at airgarden.com to knock a little off the price. But I'm starting to reap the investment. The tomato plants are just going apey. And I've had good harvest with the lettuce, starting to branch out with a few more different types of greens, and even planting a few like herbs in the farm. But yeah, you have to watch out for those unknown things like the mix of water and electricity. The wiring is very well insulated. The wiring does not enter the water tank at all, except at the junction where it meets the pump. There's no wiring that runs through the water tank at all. On either of the
drop a link to your towers in the comments.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, well,
the lighting has really improved over incandescent lights and fluorescent lights. These came with LEDs, which we know LED technology will last for years.
Yeah,
and they have I've had zero trouble with the LED lights. The other little system I have is called a Herbie. I got a complimentary one from airgarden.com. All I had to do is pay for shipping. They shipped it. It went out. The pump quit working. Something internal and wasn't, but they agreed to send me a new one. I'm waiting on that unit, but it's one that TJ can watch grow. But overall, I am extremely happy with my AeroGardens hydroponic system. If it takes very little to set up, very little knowledge. You just have to keep the water. There's actually no chemical balance to maintain. It automatically reminds you when you add just the plant food. The plant food is pre-measured, predetermined. It's like a 4-3-6.
Okay.
And
get that from the AeroGarden people?
Yes, I went to Garden Center there on Bandera Road. They didn't have it. There's supposedly a hydroponics store here in San Antonio, but when I went, they weren't open. So yeah, basically you can order the plant food either through AeroGarden's website or Amazon's website. But overall, I personally am very happy with both systems. They have the tomatoes I've harvested have been wonderful. Everything is organic. There are no chemicals at all whatsoever. And even the cats seem to like it. But it's very easy to maintain. You just change out the water like once a month, and that'll help keep your pump happy as well. But there's very little maintenance other than just adding water and plant food.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. And Veronica's for anybody who when we put this on deal under our page, if you and I'll also there's also a link to our Scholars Guild of Requiem YouTube channel. Veronica's commenting in there, and she's going to drop in a link to the garden tower. She said it's about $600 for the outdoor one. You can make monthly payments of $53 per month, and they go for 12 months. Everything is included. She said it's pretty quiet, like it's like an indoor water feature. The tower garden holds about 28 to 40 plants. It's enough to feed a family of 4 every day. And I did actually steal a couple of pictures from your page, Veronica, and worked them into our PowerPoint presentation, which will also be on our, we've now have a website. Our Guilds of Requiem website has a group, and it also has a page for the homesteaders. So I'll also kick all this onto our page. So we'll try to disseminate it out as far as we can, everywhere that we can, because this has actually been a very informational month for us. But I do want to remind everybody that some of the potential hazards of these is that we do have a potential for an entire system failure. If we lose power, with hydroponics and aquaponics, there's that potential that as soon as you you lose your water circulation, your aeration, you can lose your entire crop pretty fast. So make sure you have a battery backup or a solar power backup or something.
Yeah.
Aquaponics, you do need to have experience and technical knowledge required. Zien, Josu, and myself, we all went through courses. Aquaponics, what's Murray's course called? I can't.
I don't know.
I don't remember what it's called at the moment, but I'll drop the link in there.
You look up the dude's name.
Murray Hallam.
Yeah,
it's Hullam. Murray Hallam. He's been doing aquaponics since early 2000s. I actually met him at a conference in College Station, and Sarah Christopher was 10 years ago is when I met Murray Hallam, and it was really kind of funny. But so Josu went to the University of Iceland, and he took a course there. And man, I just found out the dude actually won an entrepreneurship award. Yes, that little funny meme with the giant golden egg. Somebody did not think how they needed to present that award.
Oh,
yes, that award, Steve. He got $50,000 to buy to set up his aquaponics business. He came in second place. That is actually a giant golden egg, but they did not think how to place it on the stand. Web address is www.guildsofrequiem.com is our web address, Veronica. We actually, it's under the community resource community. We have groups, and we also have a forum on there. I do need to start a forum for actually learning. We kind of try to divided it out to two different ways. Of the forum is learning, and the groups is just for general BSing of, different things. I'm really not going to be a stickler of if people are asking questions in one, or just general BSing in the other. It's kind of it has the past couple of years has been our backup if Facebook went down. We would like to try to get away from Facebook, because we now have an account on Twitter, we have an Instagram account, we've had a Snapchat account, a MeWe account, and a Facebook account. We kind of want to try to get away from all the different social medias and try to condense all of our information into one place. So we want to try to get it all into one place instead of being scattered out everywhere. Let's see here if I can get my field up back up on you here. See if I can show everybody here where our website is. There's our website, guildsofrequiem.com group Homesteaders and Preppers Guild general chat discussion. But if you just go to guildsofrequiem.com, you will find everything that we have on there. Matter of fact, if I stop the share on this one and come back to me, I can take you all to our website here. And I will come in here and I will start a share of, waiting for a response from Facebook. No, I don't want to start a response from Facebook, but we'll come over here because that's where it's going to be. Come on. Let's share. So I'm going to take everybody to our website, because a lot of people don't realize that we actually have a website, and Guilds of Requiem has actually been around since 2016. Yeah, that's when I moved up here. It's 2016. I actually thought Guilds of Requiem, the concept of Requiem has been floating around in my mind since I was a child, but didn't actually come into fruition until I moved up here. And bless you, Bella. That was actually my dog that sneezed.
Oh, poor baby.
Oh my god! And she just about fell off the bed doing
it.
Come on, big girl. There you go. Wicked. I think Daddy put food out. Boom, boom, boom. So the website is going to be going through some changes. I'm going to be moving the about out of the way here so that there's room for the Ren Fair of Bandera County. We've recently just added the Shindig on here because they've been gracious enough to host us. We're going to try to help promote their music venue and bar. The Scholars Guild is going to stay. Marketplace is going to stay. But we've got two different places. We've got the community activities, which has the Gamers Guild, our groups, Homesteaders, Service Dogs, and Space Station. Those are kind of our 4 fun groups that are kind of offshoots and creators. But groups is the one place. You do need to use a Facebook account or your Yahoo account or your Gmail account. I usually recommend everybody use your Gmail account. We do recommend, that it's not going to let me go into it. I goofed. Wix and Edge don't like each other. So this is as far as it's going to let me go right now, is just to this page, because the login part, it gets stuck in a little bit of a loop trying to log in from this point on Edge. So use Chrome or Firefox beyond this point on our website. Unfortunately, that's just a thing that Wix has been trying to work out, and they haven't got there yet. But we do have the groups on our page. If you come to our Scholars Guild, we actually have a blog. We haven't blogged lately because we've been like super busy and crazy and forgetful. The Learning Pavilion is what we are transforming the marketplace to up front. Eventually we will have a building up there in which I will be able to once again start having a meeting with GED students or anybody else. Can I please paste or share your link somewhere? I want to connect on all the platforms. We actually have Facebook pages. And I'll also put them on my Facebook main profile. So I will get that. The community learning is our forums. These are kind of more closed on being able to create a new one. Not just anybody can create one. And we are going to be kind of working with changing some of these around. So some of these are going to go away and some of them are going to stay. So don't get too comfortable or familiar with them unless you've got a suggestion for one of them. That one, the forums are open for whoever wants to make a suggestion on what we can do to enhance community learning. So that's kind of our fun right there that's going on. But yeah, that's kind of like our whole website. I've been working on it. It's got more updates and more changes coming, especially with the Ren Fair coming on October 17th and 18th. I'm really super excited to have reconnected with some old friends who are regular Ren Fair goers to help us with it. So it's just a matter of me being able to sit my hind end down and getting stuff going on the website and making it happen and having cognitive days. So I know I kind of rushed through some stuff. Were there any questions that anybody had? Yes, I am kind of watching the YouTube channel too, so I haven't forgot you, Veronica. And I do see your Facebook messenger out of the corner of my eye as well. And Steve, you should get a kick out of the one the group for just general chit chat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Trying to post more appropriate stuff on the space station page now, as long as it's not too political, but I've been finding a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Well, what we're gonna try to start aiming for is posting on the website and then sharing onto the social media.
Okay.
Because that is a function and a feature that Wix allows. Is you can share from. It should let me view it because it is a public group.
Okay.
I don't know if it will or not because I popped into Edge. Nope, it's not gonna let me. Wix does move slow. That's one of my few complaints about Wix, is their website is slow to load. So people do need to be patient. That's kind of one of my bummers and downers on it. But when I look at how much I actually have on our page compared to what I pay a year for it, I have to remind myself patience is a virtue.
True.
So, but that is all that I have for today. I invite people to check out our website, and I will make a post and I will drop everything into our links and stuff. As you can see, it's slowly taking its time to load up. But anywhere that you see the arrow on our website means it can be shared.
Okay.
So all of our posts, any posts made on our website can be shared. Yes, I am on Zoom. I am using Zoom. We are set up for monthly meetings. Even when we start meeting at the Shindig again, we'll still go live on Zoom and also on YouTube, because we do have a lot of members in the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild on Facebook that are not local to Bandera.
Gotcha.
And I will also get, I don't remember if I have it recording on, let me go ahead and stop share, because I don't remember if I hit record. I think it should, well, no, it's recording it onto YouTube, so I didn't need to record it on Zoom. But yeah, it's got, you know, they did a bunch of new features onto Zoom, so I'm gonna have to try to get used to them. I did discover that I had to put my my green yoga mat up because my hair is the same color as the wall. So for a while, just my face was floating in space on the other meeting, versus now floating. You know, if I were to take my my green mat down behind me, my face would be floating on the canning jars. Oh, hi, Bella. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end the meeting so that I can put some food in my stomach. And I hope you all have a good evening.
Okay. Later, Rob.
All right. Bye.